Now, I'll tell you about this movie. There's a couple of movies. I'm going to give you a three prong, just like the United States Navy, you know? One, two, three. You know, we got underclassmen, middleclassmen, and upperclassmen. So I'm going to give you three movies. First movie, Ghost in the Darkness. It's an African movie. They send a white guy over there to solve the problems. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. Then the middleclassmen, Ghost in the Machine. Well, you know, basic skills without understanding. It's like machines. Okay, and then we got the upperclassmen. What are we going to use for that? Well, we got Ghost in the Darkness, Ghost in the Machine, and what's that other one? Oh, it's not a movie. It's like real life. Okay, that's like off of the TV set. So, Ghost in the Darkness is a pretty good movie. It came out in the early '90s. It's a white Australian guy. He goes in there and he's like, I'm gonna go sort it out. Sort it out? Well, it's like sifting out the gold in the river. You know, you sift it out and you see what's golden. Just like people. So the guy goes down to Africa. They're trying to build a train. Okay, most people that watch the movie only think about hunters and lions. So I'm gonna tell you about the movie. They're in Africa. This is the early '90s. I mean, this is how long we've been trying to do this. Early '90s. We got the white guy going to this village, this African village, and he's trying to find the lions, you know, to get rid of the lions because they had a bunch of tents and camps set up, and they're trying to build this railroad. Why would they want to build a railroad in Africa? Well, we built a railroad in the United States of America to deliver supplies all over the country, you know. It's cheap, it's it's efficient for, you know, moving stuff through places where there's not really roads. You have a railroad track, then you can track shipments, you know, protect the trains, you know. So anyways, so they had this tent, and there were Africans being dragged out of the tent and mutilated. They'd find them in the bushes. And, you know, you got, on one hand, you got truth, and on the other hand, you got lies. And they said, well, it's the lion. So, to cover up the truth, we said, we'll go and sort it out. So they send, you know, American Army over there, you know, stuff like that, like on missions to protect food drops and delivering supplies, you know. But I couldn't figure out, you know, these people being dragged out of their tents and mutilated and killed. And they just find them in the bushes. Well, the lion did it. Okay, so we go and hunt the lions. You know? Now, because of the language barrier, they're like, do you look at the lion? It's like the Lion King, you know? And then you see all the female lions doing the hunting. You know, in the beginning it said, God said, you're cursed to toil the lands. Can you plant crops and feed your families? You know, even the animals remember it, you know? Because there's the lion, and there's the woman, you know, the female lion, going around slaughtering the other animals to feed the Lion King. You see? So, in a sense, the female, you know, taking care of the man by going to tell a bunch of lies and starting a bunch of craziness and wars, and then, well, they go and kill people in the tents in the middle of the night. So, this is why they had safaris. You go, well, they sent Americans over there on safaris because the breakdown in communications. I said, well, go and shoot the Lion King then. So Americans were going over there and shooting the Lion Kings instead of the people. Can you imagine that? I said, well, shoot the lions and then maybe eventually they'll get it and we won't have to shoot the people. And they go, oh, So we needed better education. So that's the ghost in the darkness, the lies in the darkness that cause wars. That's why we tell everybody watch National Geographic. And then maybe they start to understand. And then we've got Ghost in the Machine, internet security and cyber warfare of the lions. So we said, well, we'll make a temple and have lions, champions of education, not lies, but to change the geographic of animals to something more humane, like be a lion, you know, proud and strong in education. And then maybe the females wouldn't act like female lions going around destroying everything. Can really start to understand the culture. And then you go, that's the ghost in the machine. Because, well, can you multitask with reasoning skills? That's what separates you from an animal, or if you're human or not. And they go, well, if you could go over here and pick up a glass and pour a glass of water, then you can drink it. But if that's all you know, then you can't build the train to deliver the waters, or the machine to dig the wells, or the people that understand botany to plant the crops and grow the food. So if all they know is, here's a glass of water, thank you, thank you. Then when we go to drop the food supplies, well, all the lions, the female lying people, go around and destroy each other, see who can get that water first, who has the most, and then when the supply train leaves, it's chaos. That's the ghost in the machine. So we built machines, computers, handheld computers, and cell phones so people could get fast-track, warp-speed education. The underclassmen, middle-classmen, and we want everybody to be upperclassmen. Starts with an education, but first you gotta have the psychology, and you gotta understand the culture. I mean, the Bible really is the best book. It's history, psychology, and the history of warfare. And they go, that's why people go to church. They go to church to get some good words. Then they go watch National Geographic, Discovery Channel. And I hear they even got this really cool channel called NASA. It's like a National Associations, serving America. And they go, well, they don't understand English. You're not serving America. You're serving a miracle. America, a miracle. A miracle. A miracle to the entire planet. It's like, can we get some help over there for them starving people in Africa? Well, we sent a truck, we sent a train, a helicopter, an airlift, tanks, airplanes, soldiers and guns, educators, construction workers. I mean, yeah. And then some. So, Ghost in the Darkness, Ghost in the Machine, we didn't want anybody to hollow racism or anything, but, so we made I don't know, it's been a while. They got a cartoon version of it, like a Japanimation, like, hey, put a Japanese face on that, maybe they'll understand. Hey, put a white face on that, maybe they'll understand that. Hey, put a black face on that, maybe they'll understand that. And then we're like, okay, well, let's start using lions, dogs, birds, and animals. Maybe they'll start to understand that. And like, how much did America do for Africa? Well, have you seen the universal healthcare system with good psychology, education, and training? It's like, wow. Then we can send black people to black people for black people mission, huh? I mean, you might not like the way I say it, but you send white people over there and they come back in body bags or brainwashed. Because drugs, and, why did they name, what was it? I don't even know what the drug is, but it's called poppy seed. Why would they name a drug poppy seed? And then everybody else, the little drug dealers and stuff, they're like, we can't call it poppy seed, we're going to call it something else. No, the scientists, they call it poppy seed. Get it? Pop, 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 poppy seed. The brains rotted on drugs, so they're just shooting at each other. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, yeah, there's water there. Go get it. Pop, 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 pop. You know? Poppy seeds. Get it? Instead of planting crops and food seeds. You know? And, oh, now I remember what the third movie was. So we got Ghost in the Darkness, Ghost in the Machine, and then the Gods. The Gods Must Be Crazy. If you guys ever watched that, they got this water truck going through Africa, and these two little African kids get on a water truck, and it's like, and then the plane flying over, and it drops a Coca-Cola bottle in the middle of the desert in Africa. Here's a Coca-Cola bottle. They pick it up and they go, "What's this?" They don't even know what a Coca-Cola bottle is. And we're like sending all these people over there to give them education. So then we said, refugee camps. What's a refugee camp? Well, if we can explain the history, a refugee camp is where we took people from that country because we kept sending people over there, couldn't get anything done. So we brought some of them here and said, now we have refugee camps. You might see on the news, where are they putting these refugees? Well, they put refugees like in different places all over the country. Refugee camps. Well, what's a refugee? Well, we've got immigrants, we've got Americans, and then we've got refugees. Refugees, immigrants, Americans. Look at that naval system like a trident. Refugees, immigrants, and Americans. Refugees don't have a whole lot of education. Those are the ones we've got to save. The underclassmen. Got to lift them up. Then we've got immigrants because they're starting to learn the American language and American education that are going to become Americans. Like Eagle Claw, Trident System. And you go, what that white man talking about? I'm like, well, you know, I said we had to get the psychology out there first because the psychologists wasn't teaching the psychology right. They was worried about this guy's got credit for that name, that psychology thing, you got credit for that name, this psychology person made this up, and don't forget about the sick man fraud. Sick man fruit? Yeah, that was some crazy psychology. And we got this guy or this psychology, and it's like, man, I should have a PhD, but I can't remember who's supposed to get credit for that or credit for this. And instead, why don't you just say, United States Navy psychology, the Trident services. There you go.